The next session is interactive because we want a bit more energy going around. So I'm just going to quickly flick through the instructions and the slides here, and then I'd like you to get into teams of 4. But if you just go through this here now, and go through the instructions. So what I want to do is, I want to run an experiment. As you know, I'm a failed chemist from York University. Yes, I did have a Bible in front of 4 professors and failed. I was terrible in labs, but I do like experimentation. So, let's do an experiment. Who here in the audience has heard of massive open online courses? Yeah, you learners, yeah, good. So you've got Coursera, you've got Udemy, you've got Udacity, you've got NX FutureLearn, which is obviously British. But how about massive open conversations? So we're going to do one here. At VoiceFirst, we're going to do a world first. So, it's not been done before to my betterment of knowledge. And what I want you to do is, like I say, go into groups of teams of 4. We might have to spread out because it's an audio thing, it's going to get a bit noisy, so maybe go to the 4 corners, go into the front, to the back, in your teams. But the objective is this. I do sound like a school teacher, apologies, my dad was a deputy head, but start with a seed. We want to start with a seed and want to grow it to 200 branches, right? So we have roughly 50 people. I think the numbers are dwindling in fairness. But using 10 seconds and timesing that by the number of teams, look, we want to smash it here and have a massive conversation, what I call a beanstalk. So, step 1 is, if you haven't already done so, please go to voicesummit.co.uk using your web browser, either on your laptop or on your smartphone, and self-register. If you've already self-registered, well done, fantastic. If you haven't done that, please do that now. If you're not comfortable using your corporate email address, just use your personal Gmail or Hotmail address. So step 1 is go to voicesummit.co.uk. It'll redirect you to voice.soundbranch.com, and it'll ask you for your name, your email, and a password. So we'll give you a few moments to do that. For those that have done it, great. If not, you're in teams of 4, do help each other. The next step then is to go to the timeline, and you can do this really easily. If you're on a laptop computer using Google Chrome or Microsoft Firefox or Microsoft Edge, which supports WebRTC, you can use your laptop to record audio. But probably the best thing to do is to go to the App Store, Google Play, and download the SoundBranch app. And you can use this to record your thoughts and your ideas. So again, once you've signed up, if you go to Google Play or the Apple App Store and you download the SoundBranch app, that's Sound Space Branch. Again, if anyone's struggling, there's Pano, Steve, and Sandra around that can give assistance to you. Okay. So we'll just give that a few moments whilst you do that. I don't know what the bandwidth's like. I know the speakers have been loud today, and my ears are still ringing. So. Okay, so we'll give that a few moments. So the next step is, a picture of James, that's good, very nice. So the next stage is, once you're there, if you just show hands, who's managed to register? We're pretty much all there, yeah, broadly. Okay. So what you'll notice once you've downloaded the app and signed on using your credentials, just remember your password. So on the app, open it up, use your email address and your password, you'll come to SoundBranch, but actually that's just global SoundBranch, that's just like massive. So actually what we want you to do is go top left and toggle to the voice community side. So once you're actually in the app, you'll need to toggle, and from the drop down, select voice. Again, if you've got any technical issues, just wave your hand and Pano can assist alongside Steve. Again, we'll give you a few moments there because we are rushing through this. But in essence, at the very end of this onboarding process, you'll see this on the screen. In effect, a branded app for Voice Summit 2018. You've got the purple toolbar. You've got various categories, but in effect, what I don't want you to do is do private chat at this moment. I don't want you to do group. So when you post your audio, I want to put it on the public timeline. Now, if we just look at timings now, the time is about 10 to 3. What I want to do, probably for 20 minutes, maybe max 30 minutes, to work in these teams. Now, if you need a comfort break or if you need some water, feel free in the next 20 minutes 30 minutes, abscond to the four corners, drift around home house, don't cause too much chaos. But within your team, I'm going to pose a question that I want you to ask and discuss, and I want you to post audio and seeds and branches on this, on the public timeline. Yeah? So just to get the instructions right here. So pretty much everybody onboarded, pretty much there. If you're stuck, just let us know. So, what I want you to do is answer the following question. In 1 year's time, what will you be able to do with VoiceFirst that you cannot do now? So that could be what skills might come to bear. When you're speaking to these smart speakers and they say, sorry, I'm still learning, or I don't know the answer to that, what opportunities might come about? And there's all sorts of industry segments. It could be B2B, it could be business to consumer. So once you're all signed up and you're in your teams of 4, do feel free to absconder. The time now is about 10 to 3. Let's come back here about 3:30, and then what we're going to do is we're going to play back a lot of the audio. Now, actually, 3:30 might be too long. Let's come back at, say, 3:20, yeah? And we're going to play back the conversations. What will be interesting is there'll be some really interesting discussions, but it's going to get everybody talking to everyone. And then we're going to do a bit of a tweet storm. What we can do is we can share the audio on the Twitter handle, VoiceFirst UK. It'll go on as a Twitter card, and it'll go on as podcasts. If any member of the audience is uncomfortable using their voice, you can exempt yourself. If you're uncomfortable sharing yourself and your opinion because of whatever contract you've got signed up to, or you're just not comfortable with it, it's fine to abstain, and hence the reason why there's 4 in a team. So if you want to step out, that's great. If you want to get involved, that's cool as well. But at the end of it, what I'd like to see is a small seed turn into a massive beanstalk, and that'd be really cool. And we'll play it back here at about 3:20. So like I say, go into your teams, get conversing, and as you converse, post those 10, 20-second seeds around, again, reframing the question. In 1 year's time, what will you be able to do with VoiceFirst which you cannot do now? And it's going to be exciting to play back the audio, because I think there's some really clever and interesting people from corporate life, from startup and telcos. So I'm really interested to play back on the smart speaker and on the computer what you guys have been thinking about. So, we're all in our teams, everybody happy? Any questions, any issues, wave your hand.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it! Okay, so
branches. What would you
a seed and a branch, right? So the concept is you start with a seed and a branch is a reply.
Where do I find the seed? Because I'm on the app.
So if you're on the app, all you need to do is you click the record button and you just post it, but you need to make sure that you've clicked on public timeline so that everybody can see your post. But like I say, as we get started, if you work in groups, and if you need any help, just wave your hand and I'll come over and help you. So what you've got to do is you've got to press the, if you can see the screen here, you press this red button, you click on public, you click the red button, and you do a voice note. And it might be, I think it'd be really cool, I'm going to give you an example, sorry to steal someone's thunder. At the moment, you can't go, Alexa, call me an ambulance, I think that'll be there in a year's time, right? And then somebody might branch from that and say, no, but what if the kids start saying, play ambulance, nursery rhymes, and it calls ambulances. So I want to get a massive open conversation going, and really what you need to be doing is, on the public timeline, we need to start branching. What I'll do is, as we go along, I'll actually load up the web interface, so we'll see the posts coming in. You can plant seeds that grow massive, you can do what you want, basically. Let's just get talking, really. So, okay, any further questions?
The teams of 4, how does that...
It could be teams of 2. I mean, again, it's four because some people might not want to do it, so my guess is that 1 in 4 might want to do it, and at least we've got something. But what I wanted to get you guys talking. I don't want to be at the front talking at you all day. I want to get people getting to know each other, coming with ideas, and then to play it back is the fun bit, yeah? To see what everyone's coming up with. Is that cool? I'm not going to ask you any more questions because I'm just going to disappear, but there's Pano, Steve, myself. If you get stuck, I think if we just sort of go into the room, just spread out a little bit, and we'll come back together at 3:20. I look forward to listening to the ideas, really. Cheers. Okie dokie. Was that enjoyable? I mean, it's just getting to know people and get the conversation moving. So, what I'm going to do,
to all the Voice Summit 2018 attendees. We're going to the Three Tongues pub nearby for a pint afterwards. You're all more than welcome.
That was the most important message, but if we reconvene now, was that enjoyable? You all got to know each other? What we'll do is we'll play the audio, but then equally we can sort of drill into some of the ideas and questions on each table. So thanks for your participation there. So we'll just stream down the timeline and see what's going on. So this is from John. Let's see what he's got to say.
In the next year, we will be back here in bigger numbers, talking about bigger things.
I like that one. The next one is Brexit from John Campbell. I think it's done well not mentioning that today.
Or whether Brexit was a good idea or not, it gives me the correct result.
You didn't catch me, it's like, I want to be able to ask Google if Brexit was a good idea or not.
Yeah, we might, yeah. And this is from Dean Rayson.
You will be able to have an IT help forum available to reply to helping on sound clouds and so on.
Interesting concept. Now, Julia.
Yeah, you will be able to apply for a job with a verbal CV synopsis on voice.
Sorry, I need to like that one. That's a good idea. So,
Will you be able to do with VoiceFirst that you can't do today?
I mean, I definitely think this as well.
Okay, Alexa, call emergency services and the ambulance or the fire brigade will come through to your house.
I actually don't think that exists at the moment. Am I right? Or am I completely wrong? So let's just take it. Sorry.
Mark, I'm sorry. I know because you can make calls. So with Google, you can make calls. So as long as you've got the contact set up in your Google account, you can make calls. But it does say that you can't call emergency services on there. On Google.
Yes. And why is that? Are they scared of kids just saying, play an ambulance story?
You have to be able to locate the caller. It's a regulatory thing.
I think there is because I have a really close friend who works for emergency services. Sometimes what you say will determine who they bring.
Yes.
If there's more than one person, more than one paramedic available, it could be if you say something kind of like really big, that they might send a more experienced paramedic. So there's all sorts of practical complications.
Yeah.
I think that I suspect that might be the
What I'd like to do, the voice messages has its place, but since we're all here face to face is the best form of communication. Perhaps we could start off on this table and just pass the mic around, Julia and Dean. Just tell us what you were talking about in terms of your ideas a year on, what we think might happen.
Gosh, well, we talked about a whole bunch of things, practical applications like the CV thing and the IT help desk. And to be honest, I missed a chunk of the middle of the day, apologies. And so we were also talking a little bit about some of the conversations I think I missed maybe a little bit earlier about maybe the things that the wider public are a bit concerned about with all of this, the reality that your conversations in very intimate settings are being listened to. So even when you're not actively giving a command or asking a question, the concerns about that. So we got a little bit into that.
Interesting.
Stole my thunder a little bit. Yes, I think we sort of continue speaking on about sort of the education of trying to get not only businesses to take on board the idea of voice, but also how the public is going to be brought on board of thinking about going to a voice identified app. But I think that was from the Curve logo that we saw earlier from Charles. Cool.
Just one more. I thought it was a positive. It would be much easier to ask stupid questions.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's take it over this side now. Do you want to continue the conversation? What ideas do you guys come up with?
We struggle to get the app working. I've posted a couple of posts and I'm not sure whether they've ended up in the right timeline. Yeah. So we couldn't get VoiceOver to play our things back. We think some of the app features are just not that friendly to us at the moment. So hopefully it won't take a year to solve that.
Accessibility is something we need to do. The smart speaker works well, but multimodal, we're not there yet with accessibility. But in a year's time, we will. Darren?
I guess the main thought really was just getting better access to information when you need it and what you need at the time that suits you. There are all sorts of wonderful friendly directories and things if you know where to look, but if you don't know where to look, but you still want to know about something at the moment, you have to know where to look to start with. Surely the focus should be on this tech, bringing down those barriers a little bit more.
So what do you mean by that? Is that the discoverability? Is it the virtual assistants talking to each other? What do you mean?
Yeah, so discoverability, to some extent, the voice assistant, we've had personalised search for a decade or more now. But still, if you ask to find out more about products in an area that go beyond the scope of the voice assistant, to some extent it sounds like Google Actions should be able to pick up on this sort of thing if you take the time to cover as many of the areas that you should do within the domain that you're trying to provide an information service for. But I think it's still too difficult to do that at the moment.
What do you think? Oh, we didn't. Okay. We'll go to the next table, if you don't mind.
Actually, I missed the entire morning.
I'm hoping that in the next year we'll be able to order repeat prescriptions rather than having to log on to systems that are just voice activated.
And I guess off the back of that is also then make doctor's appointments, because having to be on the phone at 8:30 on the morning you want the appointment is a nightmare, especially like if you're busy working, you can't just sit on the phone. So maybe just entirely into that.
That's a really good idea. And just moving around then, so.
You hit the table of speakers, so we were talking about the things that we were chatting about earlier that were generally excited and could see use for this kind of product, incubate ideas, but usability is a challenge.
Usability, definitely we need to get it accessible for our friends. And James, 1 year from now, obviously we're going to be talking to you in a minute, so, but without stealing any of that, what can you not do that you'd like to do in a year's time?
What can you not do? I think actually, I'm going to flip it around and say actually that as much as I hope that we can do the doctor's records thing, I actually think that's going to become very, very difficult to do in using the current devices, even in a year's time, mainly because of their ability to discern on who's in the room and who's asking. I just don't think the models are going to be safe enough there to be able to do things like review prescriptions and stuff like that. Anything to do with kind of medically sensitive data could be tricky. But I think if anyone's going to solve that, I'm probably looking at people like Babylon and those kind of AI-driven healthcare companies to do that. I think in a year's time, I would be expecting that Facebook will have left the marketplace of the physical device, because I think it'll have failed catastrophically. No, I'm pretty bullish on that one, actually. I just don't see them being able to. I think that they've made a catastrophic error in terms of PR with the device timing launch, and I just don't see them getting enough market share back from Amazon and Google with enough trust to have won that. So in a year's time, you won't be able to talk to Facebook's M in your living room.
Finish off by going there.
It's slightly a bit different, but always emphasized about while driving, instructing whatever Siri or whoever it is to put together a beat and maybe to edit the beat a little bit so we can make the bass move a little bit faster, a little hi-hats, and then maybe build a nice melody and sing
Make
along.
music in the car. What garage band in the car?
Just going on from the point before, I think that there's a lot of problems around discoverability. So people just want to ask generic questions to these devices, and then you suggested the best action to speak to. But I think for that to happen, a lot of brands need to get involved, get their data onto the platforms, and until they do that, these are going to struggle. But obviously Google probably are doing things in the background, so it might be acquisitions that they make. They might try to start to buy companies up that do hold the data, and then those companies might hold the keys to answering some of these questions. But until they do that, they're going to be very reliant on people like us and brands to try to get them into the ecosystem.
So I've finally got one. I think in a year's time, I don't think it's happening here for the reasons that John has mentioned, but I think in a year's time it would be nice if you could use voice as a security platform for logging in and using systems rather than having to use sort of complex passwords that you forget, or password safes that's in your phone that never quite work, never get synchronized properly. Something that used your voice. And Dean Bubbly earlier on mentioned that they're looking at putting neural processing chips into the devices. Once that chip is in the device, then theoretically that must be as secure as the Face ID or the Thumb ID. If you can use a system that uses your voice as a security function, then in theory that would be a really useful piece of functionality just for accessibility and all sorts of other reasons.
And again, it's sort of sci-fi going to science fiction, but maybe to leapfrog VoiceFirst when we start talking about silicon chips and sort of thinking, well, when are we going to have an implanted silicon chip in our brain, so without even talking, the computer knows what we're going to do. But I think we're not quite there yet, and quite rightly so.